We have an award called the George Nye Award, and it's for the, in effect, the top executive for each year. Well, one year, the George Nye was to go to Richard Hess. And it turned out that Richard was going to be out of state and couldn't be there, so he asked me if I would accept it, which was a nice privilege to accept a George Nye Award in somebody else's name. So here I am with George Nye, and George presented me with this nice plaque with Richard Hess's picture on it. And somebody took a picture of the two of us holding the plaque. And then somebody else photoshopped the picture, and they took my face out and put Richard's face in, but they left my hair. Because you see, back at that time, I had an afro and my hair stood out like this. Funniest looking picture you have ever seen. And that's one of my more memorable moments, is when I saw that picture. I just cracked up. Richard Hess with hair. The truth of the matter was that we had a very quiet year. About the only thing that happened to us that year was we had a party for all of the ASAE members at one of the members' homes. And somebody told the press that this had been a gathering of lobbyists, and that what we were actually doing was gathering up money for somebody's campaign. I don't even remember who it was now. And that there was supposed to have been money all over the place in envelopes with names written on it and how much they were supposed to give. Well, it was absolutely untrue. I know, because I was there. Nobody asked me for any money. So when this made the newspapers, as the president of the organization, I just walked over to the press room at the Capitol building and said, "Hey gang, that didn't happen. I don't know where it came from, but it did not happen." And it pretty well squelched the story. But that was really about the only thing that happened. Otherwise, it was very calm. We had a good series of programs that year. We had an excellent annual meeting, and nothing really outstanding. I've always liked people. As a matter of fact, when I was in grade school, I had a teacher tell me that I was going to be a people person. At that time, I probably didn't really know what that meant, but now I really understand it. But I really enjoy working with people. And fortunately, I got into the association business with the Medical Association. And there's probably not a more intelligent, active group of people than doctors. And so my career with association management has been 90% of it is working with doctors, and they are really super people. So I like people. And as an association exec, you almost have to like people, because you're going to have to tolerate them, help them, etc. I think it's more important now. The reason I think it's more important now is because we have people coming into the association management business without any understanding of what associations even are. And that's really not new. I remember when I first was told about this job at the Medical Association and was told I should go apply for it, I had to ask what this Medical Association was. Well, to this day, I still meet people who are in association management that really don't understand what associations are all about. We are membership organizations. Our function is to help our membership. And as a consequence, that is not going to go away. Our members, whether they are individual professionals like doctors or lawyers or people like that, or they are corporations like loan companies or something like that, they generally need help. They need someone that can lobby for them at the legislature. They need an organization that can provide them with continuing education in their field. And as a consequence, an organization like ASAE can help train the executives in how to provide that kind of information and that kind of effort for their association members. My main piece of advice, my number one rule for association executives is, you are not the association. And what I mean by that is simply this. The association is made up of members, whether they're individuals or corporations, they're still members. And that association belongs to those members. And the association executive that gets the idea that somehow or another they are the association, or that the association belongs to them, they're probably on a quick slide down. I have seen at one point a very high level national executive who was on the track to become the president of the American Society of Association Executives, or the chairman of the board, I think they call it, who woke up one day and didn't have a job. I mean, this was a highly regarded association executive. Everybody thought he was the top, he was the diamond. But the problem was he forgot that the association for which he was executive director didn't belong to him. It belonged to the members. And once you forget that and start acting like the association is your personal thing, you got some problems, and very quickly you'll have problems. First off, if I see CAE after somebody's name, an association executive's name, I know that they are taking the profession seriously. Seriously enough that they took the time to study for the CAE. You can earn the CAE by study and by actual experience. But the study is a booger bear. The test that they give is a dandy. It's a day-long test. When I took it, I flew up to Chicago to take my test. When I flew up to Chicago, I told the lady that was running the test it was the equivalent of the bar exam that I had finished just a few months before. It is a tough test, but it's worth it. Primarily because the CAE says to somebody, this person is serious, they want to continue their education in the field of association management. Probably the only suggestion I could make would be to follow the technology. Be aware of technology. I'm in the process right now of planning a program for one of my groups on the use of social media. But I have to start at ground zero. They don't know what Twitter is. They don't know about emails. They don't know about Linketh and all of those other funny sounding names. So we're going to have to conduct a program first to tell them what all this stuff is and then how they can use it. And that, keeping up with things like that is becoming more and more difficult. It wasn't too long ago that no one had heard of Twitter. All of a sudden now it's almost passé, and we've got other things that you're supposed to be doing. I don't even know the names of the new ones. And I hear one mentioned every now and then, and I have to go look it up, find out what it is. So to keep up with technology and to keep the members apprised of the technology so that they might utilize it in their own association. Absolutely. I have told many people that I was very fortunate, and I happened to be working with the right guy who made the right suggestion to me. His name was Bob Flanoy, incidentally. You may remember Bob. Bob was a news director at WKY Radio for many years. He was a part-time instructor in journalism at Oklahoma City University, and I was working for Bob as an assistant teacher, teaching photography to his students. And Bob came in one day and he said, "Ed, I've got a job for you." And I said, "Oh, what you need?" Thinking he was talking about photography. He said, "The Oklahoma State Medical Association is looking for a director of communications, and you would be perfect for them." My background, incidentally, is radio, television, journalism, photography. And first off, I had to ask him what was the Medical Association, like I said. And then I went out and applied for the job, and long story short, got it. And stayed with them for many, many years. I didn't leave the association until '95. But in the process of all of that time, it was a wonderful experience, and I would highly recommend it to anybody. But it is one of those things that requires some amount of sacrifice too. Associations tend to meet on the weekends. I have probably, as my wife points out to me frequently, have probably lost more weekends than just about anybody, because that's when they wanted to have their committee meetings, their board meetings, and their annual meetings. So, but it's still a great experience, and it's a great industry, and I love it dearly, and I would not pass up the opportunity to do it again.